Hey guys, how are you doing today? My name's Serena. And a couple of months ago, I made the video regarding the cowboys drama. I kind of touched on it a little bit as far as like the doxing and things like that. And today, I just wanted to. Sorry, the fucking glare on the sun is crazy. But today, I just wanted to talk to you guys today regarding EA's new TOS, terms of service. So from what I believe, their new terms of service dropped 2 days ago. I think Thursday, Friday. And from what I'm gathering from it, their new terms of service states that, no more paywall content, basically, which wasn't allowed in the first place. No more permanent paywalls. They reiterated that, but I also think they said no. They said no early access either. So what that means is when creators release new mods or new custom content, they have to release it at the same time. They cannot limit it, to patrons and then release it 3 weeks later, from what I'm understanding. Now, I know some people are planning on asking them for confirmation that, hey, is this really what it is? Like, no more early access? Because I believe some of the people from the Sims 4 team is supposed to be going live next week. This is just what I heard, so I don't know if it's actually true or not. But as far as I know, no more early access. Now, I do have kind of like a couple thoughts on this. Especially since it's a couple of people that are kind of like being like, leave Britney alone style in regards to the whole CC situation and stuff. I seen someone in a Sims group, Sims 4 group, basically say like, oh, well, it's basically your guys' fault for all of this stuff. And these CC creators work hard and EA's only doing it because they're jealous and all that other shit and yada, yada, yada. And I'm not here to sit here and act like EA is the end all be all, because it's not. EA has definitely made some mistakes in the past and stuff. It still is. It still is. Let's be real. But I just really kind of wanted to put my thoughts on it, because I'm like, I don't think this is something that necessarily is the fault of the patrons and, regular people who use other people's mods and stuff. I don't think it really has anything to do with that. If you want my honest opinion, I think it I think it more so has something to do with the fact that a lot of these creators were not abiding by EA's terms of service. We know this because there's been multiple creators that I've been by on Patreon, and they have stuff from like 2 years ago that are still locked. So yeah, some of y'all definitely were not following the rules. Not gonna name names because I don't know half of y'all, but it's definitely a lot of y'all doing it, right? Right. But I think that's mainly what it was for. Now, I also feel in my heart that it may have had something a little bit to do with the fact that people were losing their fucking minds and doxing people over subs on Patreon and stuff, because they wanted to be private eye detective and see, oh, who's taking my stuff and who's putting it on these sites and all that stuff. And we're getting people wrong, getting the wrong people doxed, and all that shit. My personal opinion on doxing is, don't fucking do that shit unless that person is a threat to fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? If this person has done some real badass shit, some shit that's like, keep your fucking kids and anyone who, away from this motherfucker, then yeah, I'm sorry. Something needs to be done about them. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not authorizing for doxing in any other capacity, in any other way. Definitely not authorizing for that shit. If, hey, you distributed my custom content, which was $5 on my Patreon, therefore I'm going to call your job. I'm not really advocating for that, and I shouldn't see anyone doing that either. But yeah, basically doing shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I think that has a big part of that. Not a big part. I'm lying. Maybe a smaller part, but it's still something that is, regardless, I feel like probably made it in that decision too. Like, hey, maybe let's stop people from doing this, or, you know what I'm saying? We don't want this to come behind us on our name, that people are doing stuff they're not supposed to over this. So let's just make it for everybody. Now, from what I understand, donations are still allowed. So you can still have your Patreon up. It's not an issue. It's just that for the most part, you cannot do anything in any way that suggests that, hey, if you come to my Patreon, you can get all this stuff if you subscribe. So I think they said no advertisement of any kind that's like, hey, go to my Patreon because this is what it's on. Just shit like that. Just kind of like the Patreon is there because if you want to donate because you like what they're doing, then donate. If not, you still shouldn't have to donate. That's just what it's saying. So I do feel bad for some of the early access creators who were actually doing what they were supposed to. I think, yes, CC creators in a situation did get fucked over. I'm not going to deny that because, yeah, for some of these people, it's their income, it's their stream. And even though some of these people weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing, I still believe, it is kind of sucky that it had to come down to this stuff. But I don't think any of this falls on the people who were purchasing that or just regular consumers of Sims 4 and stuff like that. I don't think that falls on us. And that's just really what I have to say on that. But, I just find it crazy that people are really sitting here doing this and upset because they're saying oh my God, EA just wants to be money hungry and all that stuff. And I'm not going to lie to you. EA has done that before. It's not like EA, like I said, it's not this end-all be-all company. It's not it's for the greater good. We know the bullshit that EA has been on before. However, the behavior that I've seen in this community over the past couple months, and from what I'm understanding, this is with the whole doxing situation, when that whole shit blew up, that was not the first time that had happened. So it was multiple instances of this as well. Not only that, but, the paywalling and keeping shit behind, Patreon locked for 2 years and stuff. Obviously that part y'all knew was not right. Obviously that part y'all knew y'all weren't supposed to be doing, but y'all just did it to see how long y'all can get away with it. And I feel like due to those actions of those people who did it, then yeah, that kind of probably played into that decision. But I'm not going to sit here and be this is all your fault. This is blah, blah, blah. But you really shouldn't have been doing it because I do think you kind of fucked it up for everybody else. It is kind of you don't want to listen to the rules. Not everybody has to abide by it. Now, I just kind of feel me personally. Sorry, I'm trying to collect my thoughts together. But, as far as I'm concerned, it's just kind of crazy how people are reacting to this. Now, I've heard that Leo Sims, I'm pretty sure I actually posted an Instagram post about it, are continuing to still keep their stuff behind locked content, as far as I'm concerned. I do not know whether or not Leo Sims was involved in that drama. I don't remember. But I will say, I wouldn't be surprised if there are other people who are doing the same because as far as I'm concerned, I think Leo Sims is also planning on taking action. They were seeking legal advice and stuff. And I'm not going to be surprised if there are other people who follow their footsteps. Now, I'm also not going to be surprised if some of the same people who were doing those doxing practices are also going to do the same thing. I wouldn't. And if that is the case, I find it very ballsy to try to seek legal advice on something that you are already not abiding the rules by. If you were one of those people who were making CC content and the content was locked behind a paywall permanently, so we're going 2 or 3 years down the line, and I'm still looking at this Patreon post from 2019, and it's still locked. If you were one of those freaking people, and you are now trying to take legal advice against EA or legal action, whatever, I think that's very ballsy. I think that's really ballsy to go, hey, we know this is your IP that we had modified and did all that stuff on. And yes, I understand that we agreed to this per EA's terms of service and still did anyway, but I'm still going to attempt to do this. I also think it's ballsy if anyone who was also a part of the doxing also was trying to take legal action, because again, it's just kind of where do you even stand in this? I guess it's understandable because I'm even though these was EA's IPs, Some of these people have worked a lot and put a lot of time and effort to make this happen. You know, I can understand that there was hard work behind it, and I do think that they should be compensated for their stuff to an extent. You know what I'm saying? I do think that. But I just also think this is a losing battle as far as that, because it's like EA has lawyers. I'm assuming they do. And the judge is going to take one look at this and go, you read the terms of service, right? This is what this was for, right? So you knew, right? And you did it anyway, right? Because this was still here. Because I'm like, even if you look at the old ones and go, well, this was for the, you know, this new one just came out, all that stuff. Even if you do, the old one still clearly stated you cannot lock CC and stuff behind paywalls and charge people. You can't do that. You have to do early access. So, you know, they're going to take a look at that and go, I don't know what you want me to do here. Now, granted, maybe the judge ain't going to say all that. But it's still like, I don't see the reason for it. But if you believe that you have a shot and you can do something against it, by all means, you know, it's not my money. It's yours. Hey, that's what you want to do. But I don't understand why you would even attempt to try to do something like that if that's what you're planning on doing. Just saying. And then I also seen something about how this person in the post basically said that if CC creators stop making content, again, it's our fault. People who consume the content. Okay. So here's my thing with that. I fully expect some CC creators to stop making content because of this, if this is true. I don't think it's going to be a whole drove. I don't think it's going to be a whole drove of people. But I think this is definitely going to be something that can happen. I think that is unfortunate if some of these CC creators would have to shut down because of these new changes. Because for some people, this was a source of income. I can understand that, and I sympathize with that. And I will feel bad if that is the case, you know, because now it's like, oh, we can't make money off of it. You know what I'm saying? I do get that. But then here's my thing too. If the people who are stopping the CC is mainly these people who were paywalling in the first place, you weren't supposed to be doing it in the first place, so I really don't know what to say. Again, I feel bad if you do decide to stop doing that because of this. But if you are not the one who, you know, was following EA's terms of service, I don't know what to tell you. You know, I don't know what to say. Like, yeah, I do feel bad. I will, even if you weren't following the rules. But I don't know what to do here, because it's just like, you weren't following the rules in the first place, and they said, no, actually, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So assuming that that's the case, you had to have known this was gonna, at some point, come back. You know, at some point, something was gonna happen. Because there's been Patreons that's been shut down for doing it. Erased, all of that stuff. It's happened before, and I've definitely seen that. You know? So it's not like it's not like it hasn't happened before because of that, but it's kind of like, not that it's necessarily a consequence of your own actions, like, haha, this is what's happening to you now, but it's just really like, I mean, how long did you think it was going to last? What did you think was going to happen? I don't know. But either fucking way, you know, this whole thing is just kind of crazy. You know, I feel bad for all those who are affected by it who didn't do anything wrong. You know, I sincerely hope that there is some way to retain that income that you have amassed to help you, if this is something that was helping your lifestyle, that was helping you pay your bills, you know, shit like that. I do hope that you can retain some of that income. But if you're the one who is paywalling and doing all stuff, y'all are still going to retain that income. That's the thing too. I don't think every single Patreon is going to fly off the fucking handle and never fucking come back. I don't think that's going to happen. Y'all are going to experience a loss of income. That is going to happen, you know, regardless. That's not funny. I'm not laughing. But, you know, it's just, it is what it is at this point. But sorry for all the rambling and stuff. I don't really plan my videos ahead of time. I just do them when I fucking want to, obviously, as you can see. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because I was just like, it was just kind of like weird to me how some people were getting about it. I'm not saying you can't be upset about it. I'm not saying you can't empathize with these creators who do put a lot of time and effort into their mods because they care about them and they like people having them and stuff. I'm not saying that. But I also want you to have like a little bit of perspective of what was really going on behind the scenes before EA really said no, before they didn't. You know, that's just all it really is. Because I'm like, it's much more than just, oh, it's all these people's fault. They didn't want to pay for paywalls and all this shit. And I'm just like, let's not. But anyway, that was all I had to say. You know, I'm going to try to see if I can put some markers in these videos because I do tend to ramble a lot. And I don't expect people to listen to a whole 15-minute video. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'll try to place some markers where I was getting to the point so that way you don't have to go through all that. But again, you know, have a good night, whatever. Meow, meow, chow, chow. I don't know. But bye.